Hello and welcome to the video. In this quick video I'm going to show you how to do something that's been requested by a gentleman called Sam Wickham. Now Sam is asking for how do you get it so that the radio will beep when you've armed the model but you haven't yet increased the throttle to the point where the rotor or props is turning. That's a really nice idea because occasionally you will land a plane and maybe if you've had a problem you might forget about it, and if you're carrying the plane under one arm and your radio in the other, if you're a bit flustered and might forget to override the throttle channel and accidentally bump the throttle stick with your coat as you're maybe walking back to the flight line, you could inadvertently start the engine again. So having a way where the radio is beeping at you to let you know that you've armed the model but you've not yet started the throttle is quite a cute idea. So Sam, this one is for you. Now, for those of you that are interested in stuff like this, I have an entire playlist on the channel that is the OpenTX Mix School that I do loads of stuff like this. And these days I tend to only make videos for the slightly wacky requests that I haven't done anything like before, or videos for Patreons. So go and have a look at that playlist because pretty much everything you want to do probably in there already. So this one is going to be setting up this armed beep. So let me show you what I've done here. Let me simulate the radio. So here we have it set. As I move the throttle, nothing's happening. Throttle's actually set for channel 3. And when I arm the throttle, then there we are. We're moving the throttle about. Channel 3 is now moving, so that would be running the prop on the model. But let me just show you what would normally happen. So you'd start off, you'd have the throttle in the bottom position, we'd turn on SG. Hopefully the mic is picking that up in my screen recording software, but there's a little beep going, and that beep is to warn you that the model is now armed. Once that is the case, you can raise the throttle, and as soon as you raise the throttle out of the bottom part of the throttle range and the prop is turning and visibly turning, then it stops beeping. And then if you land the plane or the quad or whatever, put the throttle back down to the very lowest position so that the prop stops turning, then you have the same warning again until you disable the throttle and the model is safe. So let me very quickly show you what I've done to set that up. Surprise, surprise, we're using logical switches and special functions again. So we'll start with special functions first of all, and we'll look at the first line. So what we're doing here is standard stuff that I've done in lots of other videos where I'm assigning a switch. This is SG, and that's the switch. If we look at the radio, that's this one here. We're saying when SG is in this back position, override channel 3, which is the throttle, with a -100 value, which is fully down, and we enable that. And all that's doing is, as I switch SG, what's what channel 3 does. It's either active and we can move the throttle around, or if it's in that back position, it overrides channel 3 with -100, essentially disabling the throttle. So that's pretty standard stuff. The next thing we'll be able to do is we also need to be able to detect when the switch is in the arm position but the throttle is really low, and that's what this bit is doing in the logical switches. So here on the left hand side we're using the function when A is less than X. A, or value 1, is going to be the throttle channel. Value 2 is going to be -95. It could be even a little bit higher than that. It could be -97. What we're saying is when it's at the very lowest part of its travel and SG is not in the back position, that's what the exclamation mark means. So when SG is in any other position apart from the back position, which means the throttle is active. So when the throttle is active and the throttle itself is above -97, i.e. not the very lowest position, then logical switch turns on. Let me show you what's happening there. So there's our logical switches here. If I turn SG on, you can see that logical switch 01 turns on until I lift the throttle out of that position of -97. So that's what that is doing. The last part then is now we have logical switch 01 coming on when we have both the switch in the live position and the throttle at the lowest position. Then with special functions we can say when logical switch 1 is on, play a specific sound, and this time we're saying just play a beep, and there's 3 different beeps you can choose from. Just going for beep 1 and repeat it every 1 second. So we could change the beep sound. Let's change to beep 2, simulate. So when we are getting ready to fly, the switch is in that position, throttle's disarmed. You might have amber saying throttle disarmed or whatever. You might be using flight mode, so it came up on here. Loads of different stuff you could do. Again, have a look at the OpenTX mix school for loads of other cool things you could do around this mix. The throttle doesn't do anything because channel 3 is overridden. Soon as we access the throttle, then there we are flying until we put the throttle to the lowest position, and then the radio's warning us that we actually have a live model, and the bump of any movement of the throttle stick will start the prop, so keep your fingers well clear. So hopefully, Sam, that answers the question for you. Couple of quick things you need to do. Logical switches. Create a logical switch that's going to pick up when your arming switch isn't in the disarm position. Also pick up when the throttle itself is at above -97. A couple of special functions. The first one's going to be the switch that you've probably already got set up, which overrides the throttle channel, essentially disabling the throttle. The second one is then that when that logical switch comes on, play the beep, and then as soon as you start to move the throttle above that -97 value, L1 goes off and the beep stops too. If you found that video useful or like the content, then please hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you want to go the extra step, you can become a Patreon of the Painless 360 channel and help provide support for what I do here. All the videos created here are put into playlists, so if you're interested in a particular topic, have a look at the playlist, and they all are organised in there to make them easier to use. If you're not sure if there's a video for your particular problem or topic you want to know more about, then add Painless 360 to the Google search term that you're interested in, and that should find the video, article or content about the particular thing that you're interested in having a look at.